Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Porsche Carrera GT in Asphalt 9 multiplayer at 2 stars. Recently, I unlocked this car through the Masterpiece release packs that came with the Devo event, one of the only good things that came out of that event for me, and as with all new cars I get, I wanted to test it out in multiplayer. Now, most of the races in this video were recorded in the previous standard multiplayer season, so not in the full throttle season, but there are one or two in here from that one. So I hope you guys enjoy, and welcome to the channel everyone who came here from the Asphalt 9 inbox. The majority of videos I make are multiplayer reviews such as this one, so I hope you all stick around. So how good is the Porsche Carrera GT at lower stars? Well, it's not amazing, but it still does pretty well. Its top speed is 217 miles per hour, so that's slower than a Huracan by 5 miles per hour, but it's still faster than a Corvette. And I found that a lot of the time in Gold League, I was able to get decent positions in my races. Obviously, it's not as good as a maxed out Huracan being only at 2 stars, but this car at max can be a very good B-class multiplayer car. Now, I would say that this car's biggest weakness at pretty much any star count you have it at is going to be the acceleration. Even at max, it's only 78, which puts it at 6 points acceleration below the Huracan, and barely any better than the Corvette, which has about a 77. However, in this very first race, we were able to beat two Aston Martin Vantage GT12s, both of which were closer to 4,000 rank. You see, my Porsche is more down to 3,000 rank. But what that race shows, and what a lot of the ones in this video shows, is that when you get a lot of cars that have pretty close to the same speed, like the Corvette and the Vantage, they have very similar speeds to this car, maybe 1 or 2 miles per hour slower in a lot of cases. But the thing is, that means that although they are a lot higher ranked and will get ahead of you at the beginning, if you're able to pass them on any turns or anything, you're most likely going to stay ahead, because this car actually has decent handling and drifting even at 2 stars. It's not the most amazing, but it's still pretty good, and it won't really leave you wanting in most cases. So, the full throttle season update is finally coming to a close. I think a lot of people are happy about that, but we'll have to see how the next update goes. I know one of the first things that we'll be getting that Gameloft has announced is a car hunt for the Infinity Black Project S. Now, I don't suspect that this car is going to be a King of Class D, which is probably why they're just kind of giving it away in a car hunt. Its rank is very low for its class. It's around 2,300 at max, whereas the new Huracan is at literally 3,000, which is a good 33% higher than this car here, because the Infinity's speed just isn't good enough. Now, it could possibly have one of those perfect nitro speed boosts like cars like the Vanda have, and we'll be making a video about that car soon because it's pretty interesting. We're now entering a race on Nevada, which is pretty interesting because every single car in the race is different. Even the guy who disconnected has a unique car. That doesn't happen very often in Gold League especially, but it happens here with such cars as the DBS, the Apollo N, as well as the Corvette, and even an SCG, and a GT12, all of which are quite a bit higher ranked than my Porsche, but as you can see, the speed is very similar, and that's also one thing that I found about my 1-star Genty in Class A. That car goes 233 miles per hour, which is typically more than enough to be able to at least keep up with a lot of the higher ranked A-class cars. Now, in the full throttle season, you are going to have better luck with cars that you have not upgraded very much, because it pairs you based on the rank of the car rather than the rating, and this leads to some very interesting situations, where if you have a very low ranked, say Porsche 911 like I do, or a Genty, or a, I don't know, just whatever you might have in that season that's at a very low star count, you probably are going to be facing cars that are maxed that are a lot slower than you. For example, when I went out in my 1-star 911, I came up against a bunch of BMW i8s, which are slower than me by like 30 miles per hour, where typically a 1-star 911 would be no good in multiplayer, because I've tried it. There, it's actually surprisingly overpowered almost, because literally nothing can compete against it, because most of the other people that I found were in those i8s, and I haven't really seen any other 1-star or 2-star 911s when I was there. But I've had a lot of fun in this season. As I've said before, it brings back a lot of memories from Asphalt 8, and I hope they bring it back occasionally. I don't think they would do it all the time, and I don't think a lot of people would be happy with them doing it all the time. Because one thing that some people have pointed out is doing it based on car rating rather than player rank oftentimes leads to a lot of more boring races, as the game does not really take the skill level of the players into account, whereas based on player rating, most of the people that you are facing will have a fairly similar skill level to you, at least when you get up into the higher leagues. But that's not necessarily the case in the full throttle season, and yeah, I can definitely see how that might be. So I think it would be best if Gameloft just does it every so often. I'd be happy with that. So here, the GT12 comes in, knocks out the Huracan, and basically just takes the Huracan spot right ahead of me. When I was playing this race, I thought that was pretty funny. So we come up to the end of this race with just this GT12 just ahead of us. We're not able to catch up to him because, well, at a lower star count, the Porsche is not going to have a good enough drifting speed or radius to be able to catch up to that car. But we do beat that Huracan that got knocked down back there. And now we're moving on to a race against 3 Corvettes, a GTB Challenge Evo, as well as an Aston Martin GT12. This is definitely the race of those super agile cars that everybody seems to use, up against my 2-star Porsche Carrera GT, which I pretty much never see, at least not at this low stars. Some people have asked me recently when I'm going to upload more Asphalt 8 again, since I said that I came back to it. Well, the thing is, there's just been so much going on in Asphalt 9 recently that given the very limited time I have being in college, I haven't been able to find time to upload Asphalt 8 videos along with all of the new Asphalt 9 stuff that I want to cover. So they're coming. I haven't just quit Asphalt 8 again or anything, but they will likely be a bit more spaced out just because, well, the new update to Asphalt 9 is coming, and so I do have some already recorded in, say, the Bugatti and the Tuatara, so those will definitely be coming. I also have some races recorded in the Speed Trials. That will likely be my next Asphalt 8 video, and probably will come out in the not-so-far future. And it appears that in this race, the Porsche Carrera GT has been able to pull out the victory. The car right behind me catches up a little bit around those turns, I think, but then he goes the slightly longer way, which I used to go for the longest time. You know, it's always funny, whenever I go back and watch one of my previous videos, for whatever reason, I notice just certain routes and little things that I do differently that I now know how to do better or differently in a way that is more reliable. And so that's always fun to see, although sometimes I cringe at what I did in some of the really old ones, especially before, say, the brake nitro trick was stumbled upon, and so I was just going through straight sections without even doing that or doing it after landing. Of course, we didn't know about it back then. It's just kind of funny to see going back to it now, especially ones from like 2 years ago. So now it's time for my general review about this car. The Carrera GT is one of the best B-Class cars. It's not the king, nor is it a king on any track that I am aware of. However, it is still pretty good in events and in multiplayer, can keep up quite well with them. I would say that it is maybe slightly better for multiplayer than events because it is just a very agile car overall, likely very reliable, and all of its stats will be quite a bit improved going from 2-star all the way up to 5 stars. So I think whenever I'm able to 5-star this car, it's going to be quite a good one. I just have to be able to find the tokens to get it there. It's got pretty good nitro drifting and handling, but its top speed and acceleration are not the greatest. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!